Welcome to episode 2 of the Sourcing Challenge Show. In this weekly show, I'll be having conversations with sourcers from around the world to find out about their journey into sourcing, what exciting projects they're working on, and what tools they use. My name is Mark Lundgren. In this week's episode, I sat down with my teammate Kelly Maia from ThoughtWorks in Brazil, who I've had the pleasure working with in the ThoughtWorks Sourcing Global Center of Excellence for the last couple of months, and will now be heading up sourcing for ThoughtWorks in Brazil. I asked Kelly how she got her start into sourcing.
I guess I started on IT world when I was in college because I made a college here in Brazil for psychology. We have a different type of, college here. But when I was in the second year, I guess, I don't know, I just had like a ding, and then I decided to go and search for some IT companies. I used to work as a receptionist, and I was like, I had like, I don't know how do you call this, scholarship, yeah, scholarship. And then I was, trying to get in some IT company as a recruiter. And then I offer my work for free for some of them, like Dell or ThoughtWorks or DB Server, some small and mediums, and the big ones here. I used to work on the Technopuc, which is IT complex.
Yeah.
Inside the university.
Okay.
And then Stefanini, which is a consultant company, let me do some sourcing, no sourcing, just recruiting. Then I started there, and then this have like, I don't know, 15 years, 10 years. And then when I started in EXXX, which is another company for engineering, I have a problem with this word. I started to do sourcing because we don't have like a great brand, and the post and pray didn't work for us.
Yeah.
And then I need to, just move it out. It's just trying to learn something. So I don't know. I think that I just thought like, must be another way to do that. We cannot just post and pray for the candidates to apply for that, and not just referrals. Maybe there's something else out there. And then I started to look it for it, and blogs and the internet in general. In English, because in Portuguese we have nothing until today. Nothing at all.
You were saying that it's like, it's basically what you're writing and maybe a few people, but most of it in English.
Yeah, most of it in English.
So
everything that I learned about recruitment was.
So where did you kind of look to get, like, what kind of blogs were you looking at? What information were you, like, did you just try it out, or how did that work?
I don't know for sure. I don't know if I can remember that. I think I didn't started with the word sourcing for sure, because I was aware about it. But I think I was like, how to use better LinkedIn, or how to find candidates in recruitment. And I started with these big words, the general words. And then I started to, you know how internally works, is like you started with something and then you are in something completely different at the end. And then I started to do this for Brazil and for Peru, Argentina, Chile, Ecuador, and all of these countries. It was very hard because, the Spanish is a little bit different from Portuguese.
Yeah.
Although everyone thought it's the same, but it's not the same. It's completely different. My English is not that amazing, but my Spanish, you won't even know. And then when I started to do real source was in ThoughtWorks. Yes, since the beginning. Yeah, I've been here for 2 years now, and then I always, use sourcing, because I believe that you cannot just sit and wait to attract these candidates. You need to. I know this is obvious, but here in Brazil, all of the recruiters don't even think about it. And I think this is like scary because we don't think like that. We only think about communities and go to events and to sourcing on LinkedIn, like sometimes just to know, and then have this kind of discipline to put all of those names or this do this whole mapping and engage them and create some kind of relationship in long term. We just keep searching, and just took it a look, and then we send out the same messages for everyone, and then you wait for them to engage to your brand, like without any effort for your side. Yeah. So I guess it's still like this, and I think in your recruitment team in Brazil, we had like great learning about this in the last 2 years. So I think you are better as a team, not speaking just about me.
What are you working on now that you're excited about?
Yeah, I am in the global team now. I'm sourcing for the COE, the Center of Excellence in Sourcing in ThoughtWorks. And in the next month, I started as a sourcing specialist here in Brazil. So I will be like the first dedicated sourcing, because every recruiter, we did some sourcing as well, but we don't have like anyone dedicated for that. I will be the first one. So I'm working on our strategy in long term, how to think about sourcing with the stakeholders. I don't know if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like I cannot just sit and make sourcing. I think we can change the way your mindset about sourcing is working all around ThoughtWorks in Brazil. So I'm working on this. I have this deck to show them what I think about it. I work with the lead of recruiting here, the recruiter lead here, and we are trying to put this on. I'm very excited about it.
How is the kind of sourcing community, if there is any, in kind of Brazil or South America in general?
If there was some, I'm very not knowing about. I'm not aware about it. I'm trying to build, I guess. I don't know, somehow with my Medium texts and articles, but I think everyone just keep the knowledge for themselves. The companies, the recruiters, the sourcers. I started to get more contact with other sourcers here, like two from TopTal, for example. I guess the multinationals.
Yeah.
Say that, yeah. The globals, the globals company have more of this culture. So I think I'm feeling that it's growing, this community. I think in 2 or 3 years it will be better, but now it's just in the beginning, I guess, in Brazil.
And for you as well, where do you see this role going, or where would you like to grow it into? Just from you kind of personally, with being the first specialist sourcer in Brazil and ThoughtWorks, where do you see that kind of going? Do you have any kind of dream of what it could be? Or
of course I have a dream. I always have a dream. I don't know. I think that the perfect word would be like when we have, like, as a company in Brazil, with all ThoughtWorks Brazil will think about sourcing, not only the recruiters, everyone, like the whole hiring teams and the thought workers that are part of the process, the hiring process, everyone that is out there doing speeches and sharing knowledge about tech knowledge. I think they have that look, like how to talk to people and how to search for people out there and how to have this relationship, how to help recruitment to understand better what you're looking for, how all of the capabilities, how to put everything together, like what does ThoughtWorks want to offer to the clients. And I think everything is linked in sourcing. I guess sourcing is a part of recruitment, but I think it's not only just put candidates in the hiring process and just be like a machine that put candidates. I think it's a change of mindset about sourcing that is important, and then I think you are late already on that.
If a company wanted to expand into Brazil or South America in general, is there any kind of major differences for recruiting and sourcing there that they should think of?
Yeah, in terms of how do you find candidates in the communities? I guess it is, but I guess it's easier than outside Brazil. I guess if any company wants to bring your business to Brazil, it's a good idea. I think so, because we are growing in technology. More and more people are studying technology here. And I think we had like great opportunities in the marketing here and to attend other countries. Brazilians like to work for companies of outside Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have, like everyone goes in that, their event, the Congress, the Tech Congress, and to, you know, to learn more and to, you know, share their knowledge. And so I think we always think about the brand, the communities, and to mapping candidates in the market here. And I think it's working better because the candidates always answer more here in Brazil than outside Brazil. I had the experience in COE now that I have like a lot of no answers, and I guess here we have, you know, because it's polite in your culture to give everyone the answer. We cannot just know you know, if there is a company that wants to hire you, wants to talk to you about a job, you need to answer like anything, like no thanks. At least, yeah.
Okay.
I think that it's because, you know, in Brazil there is not that much opportunity for everyone, and I think we just appreciate when someone wants to talk to you about a job opportunity. So I think this is a part of a culture because of the reality of our market.
So would it have to, getting the kind of best response, would it be best to contact people in Portuguese if possible, or are they used to kind of getting in English?
I think it depends. I think that, you know, for example, the senior developers, they probably had English. If they have like, I think you need to check if they have on our LinkedIn, I don't know, or resumes, if they have, in the past, they have like experiences in global companies, to make sure that they, you know, get in contact with English, because it's not one thing that you have like a quality in your schools. We don't have like a great English lessons, you know, on the school. Some schools has English and some of don't. I studied in a public school and we had English, but it's not that, you know, good English. So I think you need to check before, just to be sure. But, you know, Brazilians are very, you know, like quickly and you know, just solve problems. And if you don't know English, you will probably put it on the Google Translator and you solve your problem. It's like, we don't have problem for that.
You spoke about kind of learning different things and hoping you can bring that. Like, who did you learn something from in terms of recruitment or sourcing recently? Like, is there any kind of influences that you've had of having to look up all of this, or is there any influences you have now that you kind of you're still learning from?
I guess I learned a lot. I'm sure that I learned a lot from my team on COE. I guess this last 4 months was like huge change in my life and my in my, you know, abilities in sourcing. I am reading books. I'm reading the the Full Stack Recruiter. I'm following Dean now. I have like some groups on Facebook. I think I learned from my team as well here in Brazil, because, you know, I'm in sourcing in COE for 3 months now, but I'm trying, you know, I keep doing my one-on-ones and meetings with my team, so we can like keep close our relationship, so we can learn from each other, not just me like sharing things from the COE, but also like ask them what they're doing, how did you do it, and change some knowledge between us. I guess I learned from everyone. That's the answer.
In terms of recruitment or sourcing, is there any kind of tools that is like very specifically for Brazil, or do you think that you're using and other countries or other companies wouldn't necessarily use, or is it the kind of normal stack that you're using?
I think that because we are a tech company, you're using the same as other tech companies outside Brazil. So we use meetups and LinkedIn and Stack Overflow and all of those techniques that the sourcing from outside.
Okay. Then Yeah, I've been reading whatever I could from your different Medium posts. Yeah, exactly. But
You need to put on translator every time,
yes,
right?
thanks to Google Translate, because otherwise I wouldn't understand much. But I like that, you got, there's a few in there in English, and I like that you started, getting some of them translated. Talk to me a bit about like, you and writing.
I always love to write. I used to have a blog from like poetries and articles about life. I don't have this anymore because it's too much information for me. But I think that because I had like a lot of help between no, a lot of help from these articles outside Brazil in English. I thought maybe and I miss to have some things in Portuguese to help me up with that. So I wanted to to do something that I didn't have done for me. I think kind of this like, well, if there's nothing in Portuguese to everyone here in Brazil to improve their skills in recruitment, and I also love recruitment, so I think that it is that to talk about recruitment in a different way here in Brazil, it's necessary. So I'm just the kind of person that just think, you need to do that, okay, let's do it. I can do it.
That's good. I mean, I've loved kind of reading that, whatever I could read, and getting translate, and yeah, you sometimes take for granted that, especially when you're kind of used to the internet and speaking English, that everything is there. But that, yeah, with people who don't necessarily have that they can easily read that they don't have a lot that they can use.
Yeah, and you think it's not, you think that's not just put in the translator, but I guess it's not that easy. And when you don't have like a native, when you don't are a native English speaker, it's hard, and sometimes aches. It hurts to read like the whole text, and about something technical in English is very boring for us.
Yeah.
And for me, it was very hard, but I had to put like a lot of effort to improve this. I guess it's really worth. I think I'm different now. I think I am a different professional here in Brazil, and I had all of this, recognize about it because, I passed like many hours and days and nights studying to be better. But I guess, you can make it easy. For other people, we don't need to suffer.
That's good. Absolutely. Okay. One question that I stole from Trish and Indeed. What's the biggest mistake you've made recently?
A lot of every day I made a mistake. I don't know what one exactly like a detail. I guess every day I discover something new. It's like the little thing about recruitment. For example, these days, me and Ash are pairing to find some BDMs in North America, and then we made our Boolean. We set up all of the the LinkedIn recruiter to find this, and then we click on search. They have like too many candidates on the list. So and I had like too many marketing people in there. We don't want a marketing. We want to just tech sales people. And then you just forget to use like the not marketing in the end of it. And we all laughed. They're like, oh, that's why, let's try this. And it solved it, it's just like, oh, that's so much better. Why you didn't? I think that every day you have this little detail that you need to improve, and change a little bit in your sourcing. So when I pairing with someone here in Brazil, it's funny because I think they expect like we have like the whole thing building, like a sorcerer is like a magic, and you just put something there and it's exactly the answer that we want to. And then I made this exercise, like this is how sourcing works. You need to put one thing and try another thing and change every time until you get the things you are looking for, and you can't give up. You can think like the problem is with the computer, or it's with the internet. The problem is the LinkedIn. No, it's not. It's with you. You need to change something, and I guess this is the biggest. I think that these are the mistakes, the everyday mistakes that I made, that it's making me like better in sourcing, is to, you know, to looking in the other way. It's like, how is the thing that I'm looking for? And if it's not working, I'm not thinking this right. It's something that I can change, you know.
Okay, makes
In
sense.
the end, I just answer you with something that I learned. It's the same mistakes as learning, people.
It is. If we don't make any mistakes, we're never going to learn anything. So I'm going to be talking to a lot of different sourcers from around the world and different kind of experience. What's the kind of thing that you would like to know from other sourcers? Like what would have helped you when you started out of knowing from them?
I guess I'm always, you know, curious about tools and some techniques. So if you can find this for us, it would be great. We are always like looking for some, you know, news or new ways to do something. I guess it's our work forever in sourcing, is to find new ways to find people.
Okay, makes sense. What's in your kind of tool stack? What's your go-to tool, and what would you wish you had if that existed?
I wish I had like a better LinkedIn that have everyone for sure with every contact. With better tools on LinkedIn. That was my dream. They have like some, you know, behavioral assessment in there as well. So we can make all of those matches. Like, you know, just had some Tinder. Do you have Tinder there? Do you know
Yeah.
what Tinder is? Yes. We just heard about it, right? We never been there. It's some kind of, you know, match system that makes this match for us all in one. That was my dream.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm sure. Well, I know there's companies that are working on that, but yeah, it's about getting that data. I guess you need a company when you can merge the insights that Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google have, and then put that all in one database. Then we would be very happy, because I think in between those three we can probably get to something which is close to everybody with as much info on us as possible.
Exactly, all the data together. I think our jobs will be done by that because they don't need us anymore.
That's the whole kind of discussion now as well. It's kind of like, can an AI come and take our job? Or
I'm worried about it, actually.
I don't know. I mean, you study psychology, so, and that's kind of my thinking as well. It's like, you can, at the end of the day, you can teach a computer to do a lot of the repetitive things that we do and the things that doesn't take a lot of thinking. But especially for sourcing, a lot of the time it's a gut feeling, and it's putting together information that doesn't always make sense, especially when we look for developer on LinkedIn. It doesn't, you know, in a normal world, it doesn't make sense to look for developers on LinkedIn because they generally don't hang out there. So sometimes it's very much that kind of implicit of, they might have a programming language on their skill, or we know that the company they used to work for, they must have been a developer, that kind of thing. And that, yeah, you can make the ones where you go in and you put something in and you take the top, 20 with people with that title and send them an email. Everybody can do that. And yes, I can automate that with a computer. But I think a lot of what we do of kind of looking beyond the profile, and pairing that with information that we know already, or that we have data on, that's the kind of thing that's going to take a long time to automate. And that makes, for that, I'm not afraid of losing my job. We can keep learning, and we can keep pivoting slightly what we do, and taking on different things and specializing in different things. And for me, that's what always going to keep me working. And I'm not afraid of any computer learning to do that, because that takes us lifetimes to do. And I don't think a computer is going to have that kind of emotional thinking that takes.
Yeah, I think I don't know, I think I'm more worried about the other kind of jobs, other people, more than myself. It's like not just about sourcing, but about like, how many people will lose their jobs, and are we preparing them for other things? Are you thinking about those people that don't have the same privilege as us? It's that kind of worry more than in sourcing. I agree with you completely. I think that's one good thing about our gut feeling, but it's at the same way we have like the bad thing about it, because a human cannot have all of the data and in the same time no, it's the same like quickly as a computer.
Yeah.
So we don't have that much of data. That's why we have to use our gut feelings. And in another way we have like our bias. There's not always is a good thing. So
True.
I guess this is the learning about to balance it, the gut feeling with the bias.
Yeah.
But I agree with you when you said that I cannot see like a computer do the same thing that we did like completely, but I guess we can have some help with that.
Yeah, I mean, if we can use it as a tool, as an assistant, and become faster and take away the bias that we might have, or question some of those things, then definitely I see that and I welcome that. And at the end of the day, there's always going to be a need for people who understand what it actually is the computers do, so they can explain that to people who don't know. And I see our role very much in that as well. It's not just about knowing how to use the tool. It's about explaining to other people what the tool does, and for them not to be afraid of it. And I think that's going to be more and more our role as well. People want to keep in contact with you, or read whatever you're writing. Where can they best find you?
I'm on Medium, so I think it's Kelly Maia. It's just Kelly Maia. And on Twitter as well. I share a lot of info about sourcing in Twitter and Medium. I guess it's that. In my Facebook and Instagram, it's all about myself.
Yeah.
That personal life that we have sometimes.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly. And I look forward to still having a couple of weeks of working with you, but I'm thankful for your time.
Thank you for having me. Have a great weekend, and it's Carnival here in Brazil, so yay! See you next week.
I'm not jealous at all. Absolutely not.
No. I just pretend that I'm a true Brazilian, but I don't care about Carnival as well, because I'm a geek, and geeks do what? Watch Netflix on Carnival.
Thank you all for watching. I'll be back next week with a new sourcing conversation, this time from Scotland, where I'll be sitting down with Ika Yusui from Solutions 7. Make sure you subscribe to this show, either on this channel or for the audio versions on iTunes and Spotify, so you'll get notified as soon as new episodes come available.